What type? What type?
Veggie.
Veggie.
Oh, I want Hawaii. Whoa.
Apparently.
Do it.
Don't slobber on it. Someone else has to eat that. I think he's falling in love with your camera. Much. How many times do we have to tell you? Different species.
Oh, they're out there.
I'm being creative types. People work stuff. Hi! Hi! There it is! Hola. Now life is right in the world. So we're here to help you introduce you to some of the techniques. A few of these pieces are offsets and productions. There's a bunch of pieces we don't bring out anymore because they've just deteriorated beyond safety and are in boxes in our basement until we can figure out a safe way to display in our home. Pull off a piece at a time, and Martin and Ed are going to let you, sure if you want to, but I wouldn't recommend some of these things I've worn many. Yeah. It smells like closet.
Does that still smell like tea?
No, that's what. When Babylon 5 was on the air, of course they had a budget for silks and satins that I didn't have. So most of her outfit, in my case, is made out of unnatural fibers, whereas her original one would have been natural fibers. The budget does cut down, but the key thing with it is please carry a can of Static Guard. I discovered seconds before going on stage, about 4 steps up, 1 step away from actually walking out on the stage, when suddenly one of the backstage hands grabs the back of my outfit and goes, "Stay still!" I'm like, what? Suddenly I feel, well, apparently that outfit was up here. Oh. I would have gone out as the wonderful, graceful, beautiful Delenn with my outfit on my butt. So, but my 1500s pirate is a leather bodice over top of silk originally. We've now switched it to linen. Linen's a little bit cheaper, it's still more money than polyesters, but it's a little bit cheaper than silk. It's not as fancy schmancy as silk, but it doesn't insulate. We discovered much to our dismay that especially natural silks and pony silks insulate when it's caught between 2 layers. And the core of my body overheated. Especially since my character also wears a very large pirate hat. There was nowhere for the heat to go, leather boots. I went down. I went from singing with a whole bunch of other pirates to on the floor in the green room. So please be careful with choosing your patterns and your fabrics and layering stuff up. It's a miserable experience. I would not want to wish it on anyone. I wouldn't want to wish it on anyone. Now, just to make myself sound even more stupid, this is the vest that goes with that silk velvet shirt. It is suede. Never be afraid to experiment. Thank you. Tell who in the room loves me.
Wait, what?
Harry, you get paid, Mom. There.
It's backwards.
It is?
Yeah.
Yes. Double stones in the back.
Yeah.
We've got very little time left. So all we did was took copper wire, quickly stripped off the plastic, put one end in a clasp, got it backwards.
I don't wear these often.
I said it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, that one suits you better than the other one. Electric drill at the other end in a vise, and hit the button.
That is the best way to get an evenly twisted pair of wires. Just go slowly.
Yeah.
And then I assume you flattened it.
Yes.
Just with a hammer.
We hammered it.
And of course, because it came from the inside of an electrical wire, it's easy to solder together. Right, Leia's Luger. All automotive paints, all plastic. This whole thing was plastic. Right.
Luckily, those are easy things enough because are black.
Yay, LEDs. Please use LEDs. Do not use laser pointers.
Oh.
Worst thing is coming around on stage going, ah, and someone goes, oh. Somewhere out there is a picture of him standing there backstage and me and Delenn, again, that wonderful, graceful woman. And I'm down on the ground like this at about crotch level with this little tube out and a cup. So that he can have something to drink. And all I saw was a flash from behind me. And you're like, oh. Somewhere out there's a Babylon 5 fan who has a photograph of Delenn probably giving Cock a blowjob. Oh, I see we drove the kids away. Good, I get riskier from here. One of these is real, one of these is fake.
You're holding the fake one.
What, fake wood?
Yeah, I'm actually holding the fake.
No, yes, the fake one.
Yeah, this one's real.
Don't shake it.
Real wood, carved completely.
Don't worry,
Not so much.
Okay, Star Wars geeks. Did you realize Qui-Gon's a communicator and he's a lady shaver?
George Lucas has an amazing knack for fit bashing. Cobra's all
Cobras and drugs. Damn it, we shouldn't have gone to party. 2-part molds.
for making assholes.
Husband going cheap. Hi. Please make sure if you're doing things with the plaster on the casting of your face and stuff, make sure it doesn't get in your eyes. Sometimes a little Vaseline helps. Just put it on the edge. You close your eyes and get whoever's knocking you out put a little bit on the edge. And that'll also keep your eyelashes and eyebrows from winding up in your busted. Isn't that right, honey?
Oh, yeah.
Yours is still at home.
I plucked a lot of my eyelashes out in the plaster mold, and then when we for the casting, they transferred into the casting. So my face casting had real eyelashes.
That's the cheap way to do it, because then you take your mold from your face or whatever body part you chose to, I don't want to know, and you put Vaseline inside that,
Do that.
and you pour. Oh, there you were
Those
asleep.
1970s groupies with the
Yeah, that was really in the 70s, wasn't it?
Hideous, hideous old stuff.
But man, it looks good once it's on. I mean,
Yeah.
the best thing about fishing lures is they're soft metals.
They're basically lead.
Which is also the worst thing about fishing lures.
Don't
Yes.
suck on a fishing lure, just put it in your costume. Okay, so I need this quick. Cool. Oh my gosh, cool. Is it from what?
That is.
Yes, it is.
I worked for them.
This is
Yeah.
one of them right off the shelf.
Oh my God.
Disposable. This is the, yeah, we gotta do this right. We gotta do this right.
Wow. We're getting excited here.
Oh, I gotta open this up. You'll notice 90% of the time, the camera is only here, suddenly cuts away to someone else and the actor's standing there with it.
However, we did make mechanical ones that were spring loaded and popped open.
The mechanical ones are just a piece of paper then.
On a little roller.
Cool. This will not be handled by anyone.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I used to model it, but I don't anymore. Plastics mixed with rubber. So the actor can get it on their head. Over time, unfortunately, the rubber loses its ability to move. This will no longer go on its head. If you snap it. Anubis here is paper mache.
That is so cool.
Completely paper mache. 9 to 12 layers. Paper mache is not impossible to use. use and have it last for a very long time. The newsprint in here says 1990 something. 95, was it? There is a date on one of the pieces of newspaper still in here. You know, someone with better eyesight. So he's going to be reading the newspaper on Sunday. I know.
Got a little flashlight inside. Yeah.
I think it's going to be reading his nose. Suddenly he starts chuckling, and we're like,
Well, there's an article in here about a caricaturist at large.
is there?
Well, there you
I
go.
wonder if they ever found it.
Spoon, big knife, cut, 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 dig, 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 cut, cut, and our whole place was covered in little blue pieces of foam sticking to the cat. It was great, but you know, empty up the inside, lacquer the inside because you're gonna sweat, and ta-da!
So what's that?
Okay, that's it. I'm done. The most expensive part about him is his remote control. Everything else was stuff that started was throwing out or we found somewhere.
I'm so proud of the canine. That is just, oh man, yes.
It's not impossible. I do warn you though, once you get the suckers together, they're heavy.
Oh yeah, that's that.
So come on up, chat.